Greetings, loyal minions, beautiful humans. Welcome to the Sci Show, the #1 ranked YouTube channel for purring cats. If that's you, I appreciate you. Not sure if you can hear my cat. She doesn't cooperate. She was purring her head off, and then as soon as I stuck the microphone near her mouth, she stopped. Hopefully you hear that. She says hello somehow. She's looking at me like she's about to attack me. Dragon War, Skyfire, it is here. The moment everyone has not been waiting for, when the dragons become a big part of the normal game. Mostly this video is going to be about how you can maximize your dragons and sort of how to use them, giving some advice on what we do know, going over that information and trying to best figure out how to do things. But it has been, or the reaction has been quite mixed. I know there are some larger alliances completely pulling out of the war. There's a lot of people that are opting out of the war. You know, every time there's a really big change in the game, it's always the last straw. And everyone has sort of different limits for when that is, but I have seen people saying this is the last straw now because they don't want to be playing dragons at all. I have not really spent a lot of time in dragons. I did buy the dragon pass thing once or twice, which has probably helped me out a little bit, but I've got a couple of 5 stars, they're not leveled, and a few fully leveled 4 stars along with the 3s without spending a lot of time in there, but definitely understand it is time consuming on top of a very time consuming game. So yeah, let's get into it. Anytime it takes half the screen to show the text for the war, probably isn't a good thing to start with. But Skyfire almost looks like a little horse picture rather than a dragon. Anyway, just imagining a stupid horse now. Not a stupid horse, but just a weird little horse floating through the air, shooting fire. Assist dragons are enabled for all teams in this alliance war. Each dragon can be used once when attacking. So that clears up one of the questions that a few people have been asking. For people that don't go into the forums, you know, the information slowly builds up once people test in beta and once we get more information. But I know people had been wondering that because the text on the screen can be a little bit confusing. Not just like I thought it was slightly confusing. People in the forums have been asking questions. So straight up, each dragon can only be used once whilst attacking. So it's the same as all your heroes. Attacking assist dragons are more powerful than the defending assist dragons. Attacking assist dragons gain 10% more spirit bonuses, 10% more damage, and 10% more healing each time you use them. See, that line there to me almost sounds like you can use them more than once, but that's not the case. So what to me, that line, if we read the next bit, attacking assist dragons have currently no additional bonuses. Use an assist dragon in an attacking team to gain additional bonuses for the next assist dragon that you use. Attacking assist dragons gain mana when shields of the respective element are matched. Defending assist dragons gain a small amount of mana each turn when heroes of the respective element are hit. So I'm going to jump back up near the top where it talks about the 10% more spirit, 10%, etc., etc. And the line below that, use an assist dragon in an attacking team to gain additional bonuses for the next assist dragon. So to me, that means the first battle you have, your assist or your dragon assist skill will be exactly as it mentions in the description. I will go there and show you that soon. The second battle, you'll have 10% extra. Then the third battle, you'll have 20% extra. 30%, 40%, and by the final battle, you would have 50% extra to the listed assist skill and the spirit. So the healing, damage, and spirit. So if that's where we're going to start, actually, no, scrap that. I'm going to start on defense. That's the main thing that we need to know about for now. So I had planned a very in-depth well-organised video, but it has been quite a busy sort of week and a half with surgery, recovery, and Easter thrown in as well. So I'm actually back to work tomorrow, so I'm, running around like an absolute idiot trying to get everything organised because I've been slack for the last week and a half. Defense. That's the dragon we need to pick to start with, and that's the one where the skills are going to be quite interesting. So it mentions here that your defending assist dragons gain a small amount of mana each turn, and when the heroes of the respective element are hit. So instantly to me that says you need to be matching your dragon to the colour of your tank, as the tank is the most likely hero to be getting hit with tiles. Then, so to me that's the first point I need to make. Again, I was planning to have this very organised with a lot of graphics and, number one on the screen and that sort of thing. But you're getting the watered down version. I know it's disappointing, isn't it? It's like me, I'm the watered down version to start with. So match it with the colour of your tank. Now, it does say gain a small amount of mana each turn and when heroes of the respective element are hit. So that opens up the possibility, and it's not something I would instantly recommend. There's going to be a lot of trial and error, a lot of learnings from this war. Is it an opportunity to put multiple colours or multiple heroes of the same colour in your defense team? That will mean that you're getting more and more mana for your dragon. Now, to me, the dragons are not adding a huge amount, so I don't think it's personally worth it. But if you can get away with having a double or even triple of a certain colour in your team and not really losing it out, some people think that makes your teams weaker and susceptible to. Sorry, I'm extremely tired. Susceptible to a strong colour. So if you put 3 green heroes in your team, obviously it makes you slightly weaker to people bringing red against you. Is it worth that just to get a little bit more out of your dragon? That's the question everyone needs to answer for yourself, depending on your team. I'm just going to jump in. I couldn't actually find a full list of the dragon assist skills, so we're just going to go through some of them. Sorry, I just noticed that the mimic also pops up in the dragons. That's interesting. Do you actually get a chance? No. It's really weird that it pops up over here. That's just poor programming that they haven't actually removed that from the summon banner. Anyway, we'll have a look. So most of them are damage. So the healing dragons will heal, but most of them are damage plus an ailment. We can see here this one is 500 damage to all enemies. All enemies get minus 30% decrease for any healing received. You can see the spirit is 200. And then if it's matched with the same element, you're getting plus 25, and the same class plus 25. So there's going to be a lot of things to take into consideration, and I think that's where most people are going to sort of look at it and say, it's just not worth it. Like, as an example, if you put all 5 green heroes on your defense team, you throw this dragon on, they're all getting the 200 extra attack, 160 defense, 60 health. Not huge, but it can make the difference. But on top of that, if it's the same element, you're getting another 25. And then if you can manage to put all barbarians, you're getting another 25. So I personally am not going to change my defense team around too much. I'm just going to try and find a dragon that matches the tank that I want to use. I don't think it's worth changing a tank just because you have a strong dragon, unless your tanks are virtually identical. It may just be the deciding factor. We'll have a look at some of the other ones. 400 damage to all enemies, minus 20 defense. 750 health, and all allies get 30% critical chance. So some of these are going to be slightly more useful than others. All allies get 20% defense, recovers 500 health. One thing to keep an eye out for on the defense when you're using a dragon on defense is this is a prime example, Leaf Heart. So it deals 350 damage to all enemies. All allies heal for 40% of dealt normal damage for 5 turns. That one could be useful-ish. Cleanses status ailments from all allies. So one thing to watch out for is people being able to use your dragon against you. If you pop this dragon on as your on your defense, that cleanse that opens yourself up to ailments that then cause extra damage after a cleanse. So think of heroes like Star Walker, Pepper Flame, Pofit, those type of things, Erlang Sheng, etc. Interesting, there was some comments on the forums that one of the dragons was giving 10 or 20% mana, not just mana generation. I found Veneno who does 10%, minus 10% mana generation to the enemy, so that can be very useful. But again, that can also be used against you if you have heroes such as the Fawn family that will actually gain mana each time you try to steal it. So, well, there's so many of these skills. We could go on forever looking at them all. I wish I just had a list. I couldn't find one. But try and pick the one that's best. Any mana generation is always good. Any negative mana generation to the enemy. There's another one there, Nocta. I was totally looking at the wrong line there. Stargazer does increase the mana of all allies by 20%. So that instantly is a huge bonus if you have Stargazer, in my opinion. Doesn't do any damage, doesn't heal, but instantly increases the mana of your allies by 20%. Now, having a dragon like that may be when you decide that, okay, it's actually worth having 2 or 3 purple heroes on your defense as well. That's, yeah, a choice you need to make. As I said, we'll probably learn a lot throughout this first war. But main thing, in my opinion, make sure your dragon matches the color of your tank. And I think that covers the defense. Just keep in mind that certain things in those heroes, in those dragons, may be able to be used against you. But most important, pick the same color as your tank. Now, we will jump back into the offense side of things. So this is where it's going to get a little bit more strategic as well. So generally people take their strongest teams in their first hit. And that's, not always the way if you have to do a cleanup first, but generally you're going to take the strongest teams. You'll try to get a 1 kill or take a stronger clean. Now, with the little bit here about the attacking dragons gaining 10% each battle, basically, that's how I'm going to explain it. That means that on top of that, let me just see if I can throw a dragon on here. We'll take a 4-star and we'll have a look at the spirit. So it's adding 160 attack, but we can see if that's the same on offense, 160 attack, 20 extra if you're yellow, and 20 extra if you're cleric. So we're just going to round that to 200. Say we've matched all those things. If you're getting 200 attack, then on the second battle, when you take your second dragon, that's going to be 220 attack. The way I'm reading it, 220, then 240, 260, 280. And 300 on the final one. That's for a 4-star dragon. If you have your 5 stars maxed, you'll get a little bit more than that. So that then opens itself up for using your strongest team last, because you're going to match that with the... It doesn't have to be the strongest dragon, but the one with the most spirit, you're getting far more use out of it. So if I used this dragon in my first attack team, they're the stats I'm getting, an extra 200 maximum attack. But if I use this, so if this is my best dragon, if I use that for the final attack, I'm going to be getting the 300 extra attack as well as the same with defense and health, etc. So, also does more damage. If it's a damage dealer, we'll throw this dude on. What's he got? 350 damage to all enemies. So, by the end of that, if we take that as 350, then that's going to go to 385 for 20. So it's going to be up around 500 by that 5th battle. And the burn damage is going to be the same. Similar with a heal for anything that heals. I think this dude, yep, so 400 health. So that's going to be an extra 200 basically, so 600 health by the end of it, and you're regenerating more. Hope that all makes sense. This is where, to me, the game is almost getting too far into, I like strategy, but I like sort of more simple strategy with so many heroes, so many passives, etc. Now we're trying to figure out all these different things with the dragons as the, you're matching, are we going to try and take, does this open it up to using mono for your attack teams, or going, 4-1 even? Then out of those 4, if you go 4 blue, you're going to try and use as many barbarians as you can. Again, I personally wouldn't be changing my teams too much because of that, but that could definitely be something to keep in mind. It could be a total switch, even just from if you're normally 3-2 or whatever it may be. Don't worry too much about the class, trying to match all the classes, but you could just try to match your elemental, your elements. So you might just take mono teams, match a dragon of that color, and you're just getting that tiny little bit extra attack bonus, defense and health, etc. from the spirit. Lots of things to think about. I personally wouldn't be changing the mono just for that, but again, if it's something that you look at your teams and you think, oh no, I've got a blue dragon that's really strong, I'm going to use that, therefore I'm going to put all my blue heroes with it. But yeah, as I said, it can open up to that strategy also of using your strongest team last to get even more bonus, or you could continue to use your strongest teams first because you don't need the dragon assist bonus, and then by the time you get to your last team that may not be as strong, you're getting more of a bonus. So we see that happening in the War of Three Kingdoms. So there's a couple of different ways you can go there. It probably depends on the teams you're going against, who's left on the board when you're attacking, or yeah, it's an interesting one. It's not something I have a strong opinion on without seeing it in action. But I think especially if you're going mono, so if you usually go mono, that's where I think maybe using your weakest mono team to start with and keeping the stronger ones to the end to get more of a bonus from your dragon. Again, it's not a clear-cut better option, but I think, if you've got, say, a weak green team but everything else is strong, you can take that green team at the start, because the thing is, if you get your tiles, you're probably going to win. If you don't, then it doesn't really matter. If you keep that green team to the last, you're just going to get more of a bonus from the dragon. Whew, that is a lot to consider. I don't know if you can hear Psycatsis in the background. She agrees. She finally jumped off me. She was way too bloody hot. I hope that helped. It was more so just, ramblings out of my mind as to what I think may end up happening. Definitely going to be interesting. We've had it in a recent tournament, so people are hopefully used to it to some degree. Remember to fire your dragon in your attack teams. But I think it's fantastic from the sense that, especially in attack, because they are getting stronger, so it does give the attacking team a slight advantage. I think it's a great way, from an attack point of view, it's a great way to incorporate a different skill into your team. So you may not have a cleanser in all of your teams. So what I would be doing personally in the attacking scenario, you do. To me, it doesn't really matter what colour you take, even though you get a small extra bit of spirit for taking the same element. You're just getting mana when you're matching shields. So it could be a way of taking, say, a 4-1 team. You have your 4 hitters, you have a healer as the 1. Well, now you can add a second healer. What I would be doing is adding a healer of a colour that you haven't got in your team. So if you're going 4-1, say purple-yellow, add a healing dragon that's green or blue or red. It just gives you something that you're going to have to match certain tiles that you don't have in your team. So it just means you're actually getting something for it. That would be what I'm trying to do, is to try to take a hero or a colour dragon that isn't in my main heroes, if that makes sense. So it just gives you another option. And I'd be trying to match that skill. So if I've got a team that looks great, but it doesn't have a cleanse, and I'm going against a team, you know, it may mean that I can take a hero that doesn't have a cleanse, but has a better heal, because I've got the dragon for the cleanse for the backup. Or do you take the attacking ones? I personally would probably want a bit more healing. So I'll probably try to use mostly healing type dragons on my attacks, because you're getting the attacking bonus from the spirit anyway. I'll use this one again. So 400 health. It's not a huge heal, but also a bit of regeneration. That's going to jump up if you're using him later on. I don't know why I said him. It's a dragon. Who knows what they are? Probably identifies as a furry. Yes, you're getting the extra attack, defense, and health anyway. So I personally would be trying to take healing dragons on my attacking teams. That's just me. I'm not saying that the other dragons aren't going to do the same, but I just feel a little bit of damage isn't as good as that heal that may be able to keep you alive long enough to then get a proper heal, or, you know, get some more damage out. 350 damage to all enemies. It's quite small, but not totally insignificant. So yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on what I will possibly be trying to do. I may even do another video after the war with a bit of a debrief as to things we've learned. We'll have a look at that. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the Skyfire war in general. Let me know if you hate it, love it, if you've opted out. I understand opting out as a way of trying to make a point. If it's saying to Small Giant, look, we're all opting out, no one's going to play this war, therefore you need to change it. Aside from that, I don't see the point myself in opting out just because we don't like it. Because you can still, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, you're still going to get points to fill your war chest up. So that's my take on it. I know it's hard sometimes. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't get frustrated during war, because you've all heard me get frustrated during war. But it's a very quick passing frustration. I smile, I laugh, I move on. The cat makes fun of me. You know, it is just a game in the end. It's not life or death. So have fun, get your war chest, get some goodies out of it. But yeah, I hope all that made sense. I hope I didn't miss anything important. Let me know if I did, like, just roast the crap out of me. Yes. That's it. Hope you enjoy the war. I hope you do well. If you enjoy what I do, gently press the subscribe button. Give your kitty a scritch for me. Have a good one.